Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. It is Wednesday morning, and so today I'm not actually doing the normal interview at the minute. I'm currently on holiday. I've had an extremely busy period of time. We're developing three sites currently at the minute. We're developing Clough Road. We're looking at somewhere else I can't quite give you information on just yet. And then we're also looking at a new place in Beverley, which requires a funding of 1.75 million. So I've had my hands full a little bit, but I've obviously been consistent with these podcasts because I absolutely love doing them. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to schedule my time for people's interviews. So today, what I wanted to talk to you about was price increases. And I know that I've done a podcast about price increases previously. And I was saying that I am increasing everybody's prices 20% because it's supply and demand. And I said that I would let you know the feedback we get. Now, although it's only been very, very early, it hasn't been great feedback. We've lost quite a lot of square footage. July isn't looking particularly good at the minute, and I'll get into that in a minute. So what I want to do is I want to document it because there's no point me telling you all my successes and saying, oh yeah, look what we did here. We increased prices 20%. We increased it. We're now £1 million site. We increased revenue from X to Y. But you guys don't want to hear that. You guys want to hear about the times when I trip up, when I make a mistake, when I fall flat on my face. And that is what I want to do with this podcast. Now, it's too early to say if it's a mistake or not, but I wanted to share the early documentation that we have because I think this is crucial to anybody in the industry that is increasing the prices substantially. But you want to look at the information you have and to see which way the trajectory is going. Because if it's going wrong, if it's going different, then you can change it. You can look at it and think, okay, let's make a little tweak here. And the reason I'm doing this podcast today is because we've decided to make a tweak to our pricing structure, what we do. So there's no point in me telling you that I'm doing a 20% increase and then not telling you about the tweak I've made, because what happens if somebody falls into the same sort of trap that I have, that we have? Now, whatever happens with these increases, I still think it's a success. Whether the customers like the increases or not, it will tell me where the sweet spot is, where we get pushback. And the trouble is that most self-storage facilities and companies do not know what the point of resistance is. And by the point of resistance, I mean what customers aren't willing to pay. We only know what customers are willing to pay, but most of us don't know what the customers aren't willing to pay. This industry is very new, and I'm taking on board what I'm learning for other industries and trying to implement them in the self-storage industry. And so I want to know that resistance point. And the question is, do you know your resistance point? I think that we are getting close to resistance point because a lot of customers have had feedback with us, and it's not been, obviously, it's not going to be good feedback. We expected the fact that we was going to lose a certain amount of customers. However, I did believe that we would be able to replenish and replace those customers with new customers paying the extra rate. However, that quite hasn't materialized yet. And so therefore we need to make adjustments. Now, if I look at the figures, in June, we had 61 rooms moved out. And this is the data that James shared with me. So we had, remember that figure, 61 rooms moved out, and 18 of those had an increase in the past 3 months. Now, again, not a substantial amount, 18 of 61 rooms. So it's not 50%. Let's have a quick look. But it's enough for me to start questioning things, and it's enough for me to acknowledge that we may just have a problem. Now, out of those 18 move outs, here's the interesting thing. 8 of those people had increases within 8 of those left within 1 month of receiving their increase. So that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. Eight of those 18 who moved out had an increase. Of those 61 moved out, 18 of those had a price increase within the last 3 months. 8 of those moved out within 1 month of receiving their price increase letter. 7 of those 18 moved out within 2 months of receiving their price increase letter. And 3 of those left within 3 months of receiving their price increase letter. It's brilliant data, absolutely brilliant data from James. That is phenomenal. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we imagine your business being like a patient in a hospital, and you've got all the vital signs that The doctors come around and check on with a clipboard to make sure the vital signs are correct. Because the one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to kill our business. And so we need to be checking these vital signs consistently. And we need to be making adjustments when we see fit. By the way, we're actually getting Space Manager. But I'm actually on holiday. I'm going today. I'm recording this on the 13th of July. And I will be on holiday when this episode comes out. What we're doing is we're asking Space Manager to build us this report. And so by the time I come back, by the time this episode goes live, we should have had this report built, i.e. we want to know you've got 61 move outs. How many of those got a price increase in the last month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months? And we want all that data automatically sent to us from a report. And we're getting Space Manager to actually build that report for us, because it's okay doing a price increase. But how many people, me and James having this discussion today, because I always tell you guys that we document how many complaints that we get. That is true. And very, very few people complain about a price increase. We've said that a million times. But how many people actually move out and don't tell you it's because of a price increase? I would say that most people would not complain, and most people would just move out and think, oh, well, increasing the prices, fair enough. I'm moving out. I can't afford it. I'm moving out. And so whilst it doesn't get the exact reason, because people move out for a whole host of reasons, at least with this data, we can keep more of an eye on it. And then we can make more informed decisions. Because yes, we're thinking, oh, well, pushing the price increase, nobody's complaining, but they're still moving out. They might be moving out because of a price increase. So the more data we get, the more information that we get, the more better the decisions that we get to make in the future. So if anybody wants to plug in, by the way, just to plug in with Space Manager, it should have been built in a week's time from when I'm recording it on 13th of July. I think this episode will come out on the 21st of July. So it should have been built by then. And if it hasn't, obviously, it'll be only a couple of days. And so if anybody's interested, email me, deanbooty@icloud.com, DEANBOOTY @icloud.com, and I will send you that report. And you can just plug it into your Space Manager, and we can then see exactly how long ago all the move outs had price increases. Now, as you know, I put up the prices 20% for across the board. Yeah, across the board. And we are substantially dearer now than Armadillo because they've just dropped their prices for some crazy reason. I don't know why. Bloody hell, stop it, Armadillo. It's a race to the bottom. And so if you look at our prices, 125 square foot compared to their 125 square foot, I don't know exactly, but it's like £51 at Armadillo and £76 at ours, so, something like that. I can't remember the exact figures that me and James were talking about. However, that is a substantial difference. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we aren't losing those customers to Armadillo. So what I've done is I've been speaking to James, we've been looking at the quotes, and we've been looking at the conversions of the more expensive rooms. And we're realizing that actually now we're only 88% full in our facility. We need to make some changes. And so what we're doing is we're devising a plan that, yes, what we're going to do is we're going to start offering 4 weeks half price. We're still going to continue. Again, I don't want to come across like I've got all the answers, because it's all about testing. It's all about test. And when you have the results of those tests, then you can make more informed decisions. So what we're doing, we don't want to discount the price, because I like higher room rates. I love higher room rates. So what we're going to do is test having 4 weeks half price. So therefore, we aren't can you imagine, Armadillo, for example, 125 square foot is £25 a week with a discount. Ours, no discount, and we're charging £76 a week. There is a huge difference. It's almost like we're 3 times more. So it's hard for us to compete on that footing. And so what we want to do is, yes, we've got more USPs, features and benefits, but we don't want to be such a massive price difference. So if we offer 4 weeks half price, that might just negate it to more of a level playing field. Yes, we're still by far and away more expensive, but it might just negate the difference and we can sell it a little bit easier. So that's what we're going to try and do. And it's interesting because we're just having conversations. Okay, what meets the criteria to give us 4 weeks half price for the 4 weeks offer? Because we don't want to be making these rules up on the whim on a Monday morning. Oh, look, we've such and such has moved out. We want to have a set criteria. So James is going away and he's having to think about it over this next couple of days when he's off. And oh yes, I make him think about things when he's on holiday. And then we're going to come back, and it's probably going to be around about when we've got when we're 80% full of our rooms. I mean, I'll tell you the exact figures when we actually decide on them. But when we're 80% full of a certain room, then we aren't. So 80% and over, we're probably going to have no offer. Anything under 80% full on certain room types, then we will probably reinstate the offer. And then what we'll do is take it away and bring it back. And so therefore, we've got very little 50 square foots, but we've got a few 75s at the minute. So if somebody's interested in a 50 square foot, we can just simply say, hey, listen, it's actually cheaper for you if for the first 4 weeks, if you go for the 75 square foot, because we've got a half price offer. And it's easier to just direct somebody into that sort of the units we've got more on. And if they specifically want a 50 square foot, hell, guess what? It's great for us because we're still getting the money we want. So it's all about making these little tweaks here and there to make sure we're maximizing the revenue for our site, but also keeping the price per square foot at a really competitive level. We're not gonna get it all right, and I don't think it's one size fits all for every single facility. I think it's dependent on the demographics where you are. I was having a great chat with my friend this morning, and we was talking about the economy and what happens when inflation increases. Who wins? How does that play in self-storage? Does it play good for self-storage or bad? It might not be a recession, but what happens? And I'm thinking, okay, Stormore's in quite an affluent area, so is Beverly. Does that mean that we should be all right, or doesn't it? Is the affluent areas going to be better or worse? And from what we can gauge, the affluent areas are going to be better, but we don't know that. But it's having these conversations, it's talking, it's being open-minded, and it's being open to seeing what's happening in the future and stretching your vision, what you see. Because the more we see as business owners, managers, and people, the better and more informed decisions we can make. And so it's all about, I keep saying, and so it's all about testing, and using that information, documenting it, and then improving our offering. And so that is basically what we're doing this next week. I am a little bit concerned by the amount of move-outs. Let's have a look. Let's just get this. Because this, I'll tell you exactly how many square foot. My mouse is upside down. How much square foot we are currently down at the minute this month, because it is, and apparently we're going to lose more today. By the way, this is the 13th of July. So yeah, it's the 13th of July. It's not going to be like the 21st. Hopefully we've turned it around a little bit. Let's have a look. Here we go. So at Willoughby at the minute, we are 610 square foot down. 610 square foot down. And we've only moved in, 1,435. This is on the 12th of July. These figures on the 12th of July. On the 13th, it'll have been the same, because we're not due any move-ins today at the minute. So 1,435 square foot. That, my friends, is worrying. So we've got to make sure, again, we adjust it. So yes, I put the prices up as that had an effect, or is it just the time of the year that it's quieting down a little bit? We don't know. It's a very, very small sample size, but it's about being aware of the situation and making sure that we make adjustments as and when we need to. We've made a couple of adjustments, but we're not going to make massive adjustments just yet. And we're not going to turn back the prices just yet, because we want to make sure that that the sample, we want to get a bigger sample size really to make the big decisions, but we want to be aware of them. We want to be aware of the small changes that we can make now to alter that trajectory, because at the minute, the trajectory isn't good for July. Don't get me wrong, it's not doom and gloom or anything like that. We're 88% full. Probably just slightly more because we had an okay day yesterday. We're getting 175 square foot. So we are improving. We are a little bit better than last week's numbers. However, 88, 89% full. It's not fantastic from where we've been. So we want to make sure that we improve. And so it's all about test. And then when we get the results, make sure that that you adopt and listen to those results, and you pave a different path, because it's all about making them little improvements that make a massive difference overall. So that's what I wanted to get across to you today, is basically it's so important to watch how your trajectory is going, watch your numbers, know your numbers. And if you need to make adjustments, then you can do relatively easy. I'd rather make adjustments now than looking back in 6 weeks' time thinking, oh, yeah, shit. Look, that was a point where it started going wrong. Well, when it starts going wrong, starts going the wrong direction, we can make little changes and we can hopefully adjust it to go forward in a better direction. The true period revenue is still going very, very healthy. We're still looking like the true period revenue is going to increase £5,000 from last month. However, we want to maintain that trajectory. We don't want to decrease that revenue. So we're going to take more this month than last month by about £5,000. We want to maintain that trajectory. And yeah, hopefully, guys, that's helped you and give you some sort of insight into what we're doing and how we are doing things. Right, that's it from me. I will speak to you guys on Friday. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.